I'd like to call the November 5th, 2025 regular school board meeting to order. Invocation by Ms. Tina Nockamp, District 3, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather together this evening to faithfully serve you and our school district. Allow your holy wisdom to be upon us and guide us to make decisions according to your will. Watch over all employees and students and bless them endlessly for their unwavering dedication to our parish. We ask all of this in your holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Wright?
Here.
Dr. Dion? Here. Ms. Babbitt?
here.
Ms. Petita?
Here.
Mr. Duplantis?
Here.
Ms. Bourgeois?
Here.
Mr. LaFont?
Here.
Ms. Wells?
Here.
Ms. Shropshire? You have a quorum?
Thank you, sir. Item E, LaFouche Education Foundation, and tonight we're really excited to have Dr. Mary Groh and Ms. Dana Groh, who is the Executive Director of the LaFouche Education Foundation. Welcome, ladies, and I think you have a presentation for us.
Thank you. Yes, we also have another familiar face with us, Ms. Casey Sheremy, who is also the treasurer. So, Ms. Groh is giving you a little handout, just kind of highlighting some of the things that LEF has done and is doing for LaFouche Parish School District this school year. Of course, the mission is to support LaFouche Parish public schools and supporting teachers and encouraging grants for innovative teaching. So this school year, 22 teacher grants have been awarded, totaling $50,368.62. Those people have been notified already. They will be receiving their checks in the next couple weeks. And it is upon them to purchase what they said their grant was for and then send us the receipt. So 50 grand worth of grants going out in the next couple of weeks. There was also 17 new teacher grants totaling $4,250. No new teacher was turned down for a grant this year. There was a budget set for it. Apparently we didn't have that many new teachers in our district this year, and those funds are being spent locally. They have a choice between Kale Office Supply and Kim Supply. And those are actually delivered to them at their school by those particular companies. $3,600 was spent on teacher wish lists. Teachers could submit their wish list to LEF, and from there was a certain amount that was set to purchase from anybody who submitted. Of course, they also do the Celebration of Excellence, where every teacher who gets Teacher of the Year gets $100. The parish winners get $500 plus a nice backpack, and LEF covers the reception. This past year, a grant was written to Bayou Community Foundation. We were awarded $15,000. That $15,000 plus some LEF money was put together and given to 11 different Title I schools, materials that they asked for. They had to ask for materials to support their ELA teachers and their math teachers. And that came to $17,359.49. Two of those schools did not respond, so they were not awarded. LEF also funds the Dolly Parton Imagination Library for LaFouche Parish. So all of the children in LaFouche Parish who are enrolled in Dolly Parton Imagination Library receive a book once a month from birth to 5 years old. Those books cost $2.67 a piece mailed home. We are fortunate that the state does have a grant that matches. And right now we have 1,393 children enrolled. That's 9,875 books that have been mailed out to LaFouche Parish children since January. And that cost $26,366.25. So these are all the things that are being done for LaFouche Parish children and Lafourche Parish schools. So definitely a great thing happening. I know when teachers get these grants, they get all excited and they can't wait to put things into action. I've seen some teachers in my school already do things for their students, and when my teacher received it last year, it benefited every child in the school because we had the Sky Dome come in, the planetarium. On the back are all of our board members and a little bit about the King Cake Fest, which funds all of the things we do on the front. So you also have received what the donation categories are and sponsorships are. Any support is greatly appreciated because this is what keeps the organization running. Ms. Marion is also on our board. So thank you, Ms. Marion, for your continued work with it as well. Any questions?
A little bit about the main fundraiser. Yoshi?
Yes, the donations. We are not quite where we want to be yet this year. Right, as of right now, we have $60,000 committed to us in sponsorships. I believe last year we were at 110,000. So we are still working to try because, again, the monies, the profits from King Cake Fest are what funds besides grants. As you know, we got the Bayou Community Foundation grant, $15,000. But it is what makes the grants possible.
I have
Yes,
to say
ma'am.
that I read the grants this year.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you. You did.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but they have some very
You were one.
innovative teachers out there. So, it was a pleasure to read that they wanted to do so much in their classroom. So, thank you all.
It
for
is.
awarding
It's
that. I
nice.
appreciate
And
that.
we have a
Yes.
couple principals in here too who were recipients of the materials, the ELA and math materials, who were telling me out in the hall how much their teachers enjoyed the things that they had asked for. So, any questions? Thank you for having us. Thank you for supporting us. Yes, sir. Another sponsor right here.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Brew. But for all those who are here, if you haven't attended the King Cake Festival, you are missing a great opportunity to enjoy great king cake and fellowship and really support our students and teachers and staff. Please partake.
It is January 31st in downtown Thibodaux. Regular admission is $10. There are VIP entrance as well for $100, and you get a special seating area and access to food and drinks a little bit easier than the rest. So your support will be very appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brew.
Moving on, item 2, awards and recognitions. Lafourche Parish School District student, staff, and group recognitions. Ms. Bolton and Ms. Martin.
Welcome. Tonight's awards recognition ceremony is one of the highlights of the year because we have the opportunity to recognize the students who are exemplifying the very best of what our district has to offer. These students that we're recognizing tonight have excelled not just in the classroom, but they've shown leadership, character, service to their school and their community. So it's an honor to be able to recognize them for their contributions, not just to the school and not just to the community. So we are going to get started. As we call your name, you'll come up and receive your award. And then you'll turn real quick toward me and I'll take a picture, and then we'll have these up for you tomorrow, where you'll be able to see them on our Facebook page. And so we are going to get started with our elementary students of the year, and Ms. Ann Hodson is going to call out those names. And just give me 1 second while I move this back out of the way.
Okay, we're going to announce all of the elementary school winners, and then we'll let middle school and high school announce all of their winners, and then we'll come back and name our parish winner for elementary schools. We'll have filled the little drum roll in anticipation there for our big winner. So from Bayou Blue Upper, we have Morgan France.
Even like right here, really, first one for this, we're right at them. Wait.
I'm gonna take a couple.
Great job.
From Bayou Buff Elementary, Owen Chauvin. From Bayou Community Academy, Piper Colleg. From CM Washington, Jade Smith. From Chack Bay Elementary, Spencer Westerman. From Cutoff Elementary, Celine Broke. From Galliano Elementary, Annie Lacona. From Golden Meadow Elementary, Natalie Ducey. From Lockport Upper Elementary, Luke Bourgeois. From North LaRose Elementary, Charlotte Landrum. From Raceland Upper Elementary, Van James Chasson. From South LaRose Elementary, Bennett Galjor.
There we go.
From St. Charles Elementary, Rowan Claymont.
We will now move on to our middle school students of the year. From Bayou Blue Middle School, Summer Day. From Bayou Community Academy, Owen Bro. From Golden Meadow Middle School, Allison Gidry. From LaRose Cutoff Middle School, Charlie Coleman. From Lockport Middle School, Jackson Arnold. Graceland Middle School, Anna Graber. Sixth Ward Middle School, Hannah Elizabeth Waithaka. Thibodeau Middle School, Brandon Jones Jr. We will now move on to our high school students of the year. From Central Lafourche High School, Madeline Fosom. From South Lafourche High School, Nathan Dean, and he is unable to join us tonight. From LMEA State Marching Championship. And also from Thibodeau High School, Cullen Murillo.
Okay, now the moment you've all been waiting for, at least those of you at the elementary level, right? Alrighty, so just so you know, and I know you've all heard this, if you're here, you're a winner, clearly, okay? It takes a lot of hard work to be sitting where you are tonight. You know, the portfolios come into the office, and I want to make everybody a winner, you know, so that's not possible. So I have a committee of people who get together, and they look through your rubrics, get through your portfolios, and they score them. And so this is how we get our winner from the elementary school. So we have several people look at these. So this year's elementary winner is, thank you, Mr. Luke Bourgeois.
It's a great picture. There we go.
All right. Okay, just down a little bit so I can see your smile. All right, perfect. All right. Yeah, just like that.
And now it's time to announce our middle school Lafourche Parish Student of the Year. Jackson Arnold. And our high school Lafourche Parish Student of the Year is Madeline Boso.
Well, I'm going to close with what Ms. Hodson opened with. You know, in the 5th, 8th, and 12th grade, it's about 1,000 kids in each of those grade levels. And so when you boil that down to the few kids that are here, it speaks to how well you're doing in school. It speaks to your accomplishments, and all that you do tonight should be tremendously proud to represent your school as a Student of the Year. And I can't wait for those folks that are going to be representing Lafourche Parish at the next level. So congratulations, parents. Thank you for what you do, supporting them in their journey. I am not foolish enough to think that they did this on their own. Absent any help from you, we know that you're making all this possible. So thank you for trusting us with your kids first and foremost. And kids, have a great night. I do think the restaurants are open tonight, so you probably have earned the right for that. If you guys want to stay, you're welcome to. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you, kids. Congratulations.
Item 3, approval of minutes and observances and proclamations. A, minutes of the regular school board meeting held October the 1st, 2025. Do you have a motion? Mr. Henry, LaFawn, move second, Dr. Giat. Is there any public comment? Any board comment or discussion? If not, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, memorial resolutions. A, Ms. Patricia Harris, retired guidance counselor. Ms. Patricia Harris was hired by Lafourche Parish School District on August 17, 1990, as a teacher at South Thibodeau Elementary School. She also taught at Raceland Upper Elementary and Raceland Middle School before leaving the system for a short time in September 1999. Ms. Harris returned to Lafourche Parish on August 17, 2020, as a guidance counselor. She served at South Thibodeau Elementary and the past site at East Thibodeau Middle School until her retirement on August 3, 2012. Ms. Harris served the Lafourche Parish School District for a total of 22.50 years. B, Ms. Peggy Dewey. That would be Ms. Sharp and Jason.
Miss Peggy Dewey was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District as a school secretary bookkeeper for the 1962-1963 school year. Ms. Dewey left the district in July of 1969, but returned on July 1st, 1972. She served as the bookkeeper for Golden Meadow Upper Elementary, Golden Meadow Middle School, and assisted as a part-time custodian at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary. Ms. Dewey retired on June 22nd, 2022, having served the Lafourche Parish School District for 30 years. And on a personal note, I knew Miss Peggy, I knew her husband John, and they were fine, really great people.
C, Ms. Benita Laughlin, retired secretary, Ms. Bourgeois.
Ms. Benita Laughlin was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on January 11, 1972, as a secretary at Raceland Upper Elementary School. She retired on June 19, 1995. Ms. Laughlin served the Lafourche Parish School District for 23.5 years. And I have to say, on a personal note, she was a good friend to my mom and my family. Such a sweet lady, and it always amazed me. She had her fingers had arthritis, so they were spread out a lot. It amazed me how she could make a piano sing and type with those fingers, and so I know she will be missed by her children.
Thank you. Mr. Ray Petrie, retired band director, Ms. Bourgeois.
Mr. Ray Petrie was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on August 29, 1966, as the band director at Raceland Middle School. Mr. Petrie also instructed band students at Raceland Upper Elementary School. Mr. Petrie retired on June 2, 1999, having served Lafourche Parish for 33 years. I again know Mr. Petrie. In fact, he was a neighbor, lived 2 houses down from us, and was my band teacher. And it really warmed my heart to see so many tributes to him on social media. He really had an impact on his community and the music world. So I know his 2 daughters and 2 sons will miss him here.
Item E, Ms. Veronica Bednar's, retired teacher, Mr. Wright.
Ms. Veronica Bednar was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on September 2nd, 1975, as a teacher at Thibodeau High School. Ms. Bednar was retired on May 29, 1992, having served Lafourche Parish for 17 years.
I move that these resolutions be adopted by general consent and that a copy of the resolution be recorded on a special page of our minute book.
There's no objections. Let the record reflect that these resolutions were adopted by general consent and that a copy will be recorded on the special page of our minute book. Item 5, approval of business committee recommendations as per meeting held Wednesday, October 15, 2025. Mr. Duplantis.
Thank you, Madam President. A, to approve the renewal of short-term and long-term disability for fiscal year 2026, New York Life with a 3-year rate guarantee. So moved.
Second by Ms. Bevan. Any comments from the public? Any board comments or questions? Hearing none, please, if you vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Item B.
To approve the renewal of the Guardian Life Insurance for fiscal year 2026, one-year rate hold. So moved.
A motion, second by Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment? Any board discussion or comments? Hearing none, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries.
Item C, to extend the current subscription services for student data collection software through January 5th, 2027, with school status in the amount of $78,925.00. So moved.
Second, Mr. Wright. Any public comment? Any board questions? Hearing none, please vote aye. Yay, or aye, whatever.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, to approve the Microsoft license renewal from SHI International Corp. So moved.
Second, Mr. LaFont. Any public comment? Any board questions or comments? Hearing none, please vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, to authorize advertisement for request for proposals for digital payment solutions, which is a cashless systems for after-school events. So moved.
Motion, we have a second. Dr. Diak, any public comment? Yes, ma'am. Please step forward and say your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Melvin. I live at 322 Cedar Tree Drive, Thibodeau. And I was unable to attend the committee meeting, so I kind of have a question. But I was wondering if this was going to be exclusive use of just a cashless payment thing at sporting events and things after school?
I can
You can.
entertain
Thank you.
the comment. Those decisions haven't been made yet. We want to have a cashless option for sure. We
Right, and
haven't
most people
arrived-
probably would use that.
Correct. Well, what we haven't made a decision yet is if a person shows up to an event and only has cash, what would be the mechanism for them to either transition that cash into a card that could then work with our system and or pay with cash. But we want to limit the amount of cash our schools are handling.
Right.
The point of this is to get away from the cash because it is creating an accounting nightmare, a bookkeeping nightmare. And then the logistics of having to turn that cash into the bank after these events is also a challenge.
Oh,
for the schools.
I
So
get
the
the
more
advantage.
closely we can get to pure cashless, the better. But we haven't arrived at details surrounding someone from out of town who shows up and all I have is cash. Those are things we still have to.
Well, can I just make y'all aware, if you're not, in 2024, the Louisiana legislature passed a bill into law that was signed by the governor that does not allow the refusal of cash at post-secondary school events. So I don't know if that will bear anything into this. I know it doesn't apply to, elementary and secondary schools, but just for a point of reference there. And it is legal tender, cash is legal tender, so.
This is just for advertisement, to advertise. So
Right,
not
it's
really-
advertising for a bid, but I
Yeah.
just, wanted to say that. Thank
Ms.
you.
Melvin. Thank you, David. Moving on. We need to vote on this, I'm sorry. Oh, we have a motion in a second. Okay, we had public comment. Board questions or comments? Hearing none, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Motion carries. I'm sorry, I got lost.
All right. Item F, to authorize advertisement for request for proposals for a time and attendance software system. So moved.
Motion, second, Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion or comments? Hearing none, please vote. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And for the audience, I just want to reiterate that we had discussed all of this thoroughly at our committee meetings, and so it may look like we're rushing through it, but we really have a really good understanding of what all of these items are. Okay, item, let's see, 6. Approval of Land and Facilities Management Committee recommendations as per meeting held October 15, 2025. Mr. LaFawn.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 8, to approve a change order request in the sum credit of $216,000 to remove the scope of work for alternate number 2 for the Golden Meadow Middle School demolition and campus improvements project. So moved.
Motion, second by Ms. Babin. Any public comment? Any board discussion or comment? Hearing none, please vote. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Item B, to approve a change order request to add 28 days due to unforeseen equipment delays to the Cutoff Elementary Fan Call Units project. So moved.
Motion, second by Mr. Wright. Any public comment? Any board questions, discussions? Hearing none, please vote by signifying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, to approve a change order request in the sum total of $6,011.15 and add 24 days to the Lafourche Parish School District Middle Multiple Locations project. So moved.
Motion, second by Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment? Any board discussion or comments, questions? Hearing none, please vote by signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, to approve a 3-year lease with Virtual Academy of Lafourche, VAL, for the rental of the Lafourche Parish School District building located at 190 Johnny Dufresne Drive, Raceland, Louisiana, 70394. So moved.
Motion, second by Dr. I want to call you Dr. Duplantis, Dr. Guillot. Any public comment or any board discussion, questions? And he still is Dr. Guillot, not Dr. Duplantis. So please, let's vote. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, sir. Item 7, new business. 8, to consider the findings of the superintendent regarding a student expulsion appeal pursuant to Lafourche Parish School Board Policy JDE. And at this time, this next item on the agenda is to review the expulsion of a student pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 17416 C4. Ordinarily, this sort of proceeding is done in executive session, which is closed to the public. But the parent has requested that the board review the superintendent's decision to expel the student be conducted in an open meeting, so this item will remain open to the public. The statute, which defines the school board member's role in the expulsion process, is Louisiana Revised Statute 17416 C4, and it reads as follows. The parent or legal guardian of a student who has been recommended for expulsion pursuant to this section may, within 5 days after the decision is rendered, submit a request to the city, parish, or other local public school board to review the findings of the superintendent or his designee at the time set by the school board. Otherwise, the decision of the superintendent shall be final. If requested as provided in this paragraph, and after reviewing the findings of the superintendent or his designee, the school board may affirm, modify, or reverse the action previously taken. The parent or legal guardian of the student shall have such right of review even if the recommendation for expulsion is reduced to a suspension. Each school board's code of conduct shall include information detailing the appeal process provided in this paragraph and subparagraph 5A of this subsection. The parent has made a timely request for review under this provision of the statute. The attorney representing the student has made a request that what is called on the law de novo hearing. What the attorney is asking is that we conduct another hearing, not simply review the transcript of the hearing and the evidence presented at the hearing and made a part of the expulsion hearing record. He asked that the matter be presented to the board de novo, which would mean the witnesses would testify again and evidence presented again independent of the hearing record. Our practice as a board, when reviewing the determination of the superintendent, is to receive a copy of the transcript and the physical evidence introduced at the expulsion hearing, and then each of us reads and studies the record in advance. Counsel for the student is asking you to deviate from that practice. I have requested from our attorney to provide guidance as to whether we must grant this request for de novo hearing, and he advises that it is not mandated in law to provide a de novo hearing. He advises that this is not mandated in the law. He advised that there are statutes in our state's laws that are worded differently that do provide for appeals from agency decisions that do provide for a de novo hearing. And he can certainly provide example of those. But the language of Louisiana Revised Statute 17:416 C4 is plainly different. He pointed out that when it is mandated for a de novo hearing, it is plainly stated in the language of the statute. I might also add that Mr. Amity provided that he has been representing the board since 1990, and that this board has consistently followed the process which we are currently utilizing. I also want to mention to you that should the parent be dissatisfied with the ruling of the board, there exists a right to appeal the board's ruling to the district court here in Thibodaux. This is contained in Louisiana Revised Statute 17:416 C5A, and it reads as follows. The parent of or legal guardian of a student who has been recommended for expulsion pursuant to this section may within 10 days appeal to the district court or for the parish in which the student's school is located an adverse ruling of the school board in upholding the actions of the superintendent or his designee. The court may reverse or revise the ruling of the school board upon a finding that the ruling of the board was based on an absence of any relevant evidence in support thereof. The parent or legal guardian of the student shall have such right to appeal to the district court even if the recommendation for expulsion is reduced to a suspension. A few things from the portion of section 416. The district court proceedings like ours is not a de novo hearing. The judge must decide the matter by looking at the record, which is the same process that this board has used for the last 35 years. Do I have a motion from a board member to consider a de novo hearing? Having no motion, I will deny the student's request for a de novo hearing. Mr. Como, having no motion for a de novo hearing, your request is denied. Mr. Como, you have also made a request for subpoenas to be issued. That request as well is also denied, as there is no additional testimony that will be considered, nor does it appear that the statute permits this body the right to issue subpoenas. A few other matters, as I mentioned, the parent or the child has requested that this matter be open to the public, which is an unusual request, but one that we will honor. This proceeding is not an ordinary school board meeting process. It is a review of the findings of the superintendent related to the expulsion of a student. It is very similar to a court proceeding or more similar to an appellate court proceeding. You, as members of the public, are allowed to attend but not speak or disrupt in any way this proceeding. If you utter words or make any noise whatsoever, I will stop the proceeding and ask the person to be escorted from the proceeding by the deputy. And deputy, I ask that you monitor the attendees, and if you observe any disruption or distractions, please bring it to my attention as I sit furthest from the audience. I ask board members to do the same. We all have been to court here in Thibodaux, either as a party, a witness, or a juror or spectator, and we all know the level of decorum expected by the judges of this parish. I expect everyone to behave in the same manner. Mr. Como, you'll have 20 minutes to present your argument on behalf of your client. The superintendent's representative will have an opportunity to respond. Ordinarily, once the matter has been argued, the board deliberates in executive session, much like a panel of judges who do so. However, you have asked for an open meeting. Ms. Como, are you requesting that the board deliberate in a public meeting, or do you waive that so that the board may deliberate in executive session?
Public meeting, please.
The board does not vote in executive session, only discussions. Once there is no more discussion, the board returns to regular session to vote. How does your client wish for the board to deliberate? In open or private deliberations?
Open deliberation.
In either event, the board will vote tonight to affirm, modify, or reverse the action previously taken. Mr. Como, this is your client's appeal. Please begin. You have 20 minutes.
I'd start off by thanking you for your time to give me my 20 minutes. One of the primary issues that the courts have looked at historically in these expulsion hearings is due process and fairness. And in this proceeding, we feel that we were denied that right to due process, and thus the reason we asked for y'all to hear this de novo. I understand that's been denied, but this is a situation where you should hear the facts that we were denied presentation of at the hearing with the hearing officer employed by the school board. We tried to ask questions of the principal at that hearing, and by counsel for the Lafourche Parish School District, were told to stop. We were told that we were asking inappropriate questions when we asked why she put the student on the same bus with the abuser. And by abuser, I mean the one that spread naked pictures of her through the school. The one that the principal did not believe and just discount. So for those reasons, we were asking that this be a de novo review because we were not allowed our due process right at that expulsion hearing. We were in the process of questioning the principal, the hearing officer, and other attendance employee were advising the principal on what she could and couldn't answer, which they're supposed to be neutral hearing officers, so that was confusing. And then lastly, as we were trying to ask questions, the counsel for the school board told us to stop. Mr. Ori, who was co-counsel on this, was the one asking the questions, and this is not a hearing for that. This is not a hearing for that, is what we were told. This is an informal hearing. This is not court. So we were not allowed that opportunity under due process and fairness to get all the facts out. And it was evident that in that hearing, those hearing officers were shocked to see that the little child was showing naked pictures on the bus. And this individual student, I don't understand why she was victimized at 10 o'clock in the morning. When she reported to school personnel, there are naked pictures of me going around. And by naked pictures, these are AI generated pictures of the student's face on a nude body. And she was victimized, and you know what the principal did? She told the SRO, she said, it's not my hands anymore. And the SRO didn't make a complaint, didn't do any formal investigation. She said, I looked on Snapchat, I didn't see the pictures. Well, no, you're not gonna see the pictures. They're sent to people. They're not just out there in the public. And then she tried to call her father because she was bullied all day because of the bush that was on this individual's face, private part with her face on this picture. These students teased her all day, and she said, let me call my dad. We don't need to get parents involved right now, is what she was told. So he didn't get a call. So she was forced to undergo that same bullying with her naked picture running around. And then at the end of the day, you know what that school did? Put her on the bus with the guy that showed the pictures and created them all day. And he continued to do that on the bus. He continued to show them on the bus and send them to people on the bus. And she had enough. What is she supposed to do? She's reported it to the people who are supposed to protect her. But she was victimized. She was victimized. And finally, she tried to knock the phone out of his hand and swatted at him. You know what they never did in this investigation? Talk to the kid that showed the naked pictures and made them? Didn't ask him any questions. Didn't bring him to the hearing. This investigation was about, oh, you committed a battery and there is no justification for that. That cannot be the practice. We cannot afford this juvenile child to have to go through this. And then when we try to ask questions of the principal, why did you put her on the bus with the abuser? Oh, you need to stop asking those questions. That is why this fundamental right to due process was not afforded to this individual at the hearing. We didn't get that. We had witnesses in the room. We didn't even get to call them because we were shut down. This is a precedent that I believe y'all need to be very attentive to, because this day and age, education is changing and what students can do is changing. And if they are allowed as students to show a picture of a naked person, AI generated, and have no consequences of it, instead the person whose picture is shown is the one who gets the consequences. The one who had no problems in school before, and now she is doing poorly in a past site. This cannot be right. There's a point where you say, you just got to have that gut feeling, and it's got to sit well with you. And a girl who just had enough and swatted at a boy who didn't even move. He was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take my little hit on the head and move on. And then he's still at school the day we go to the expulsion hearing. I believe that there are cases that I have cited, and I know we're beyond that point, but the de novo review is honored in Caddo Parish. The Supreme Court of Louisiana said that's a great thing. They were afforded their due process right by being able to come to the school board and present what actually happened. But there was no motion for that despite our request. We believe that we have statements from witnesses who have come forward, who have found out about this information and how utterly disgraced they are that this little girl who was victimized is now being victimized by the system. And they want to come forward. They want to tell you what they saw that day, but they can't because you don't afford them the opportunity, and neither did the expulsion committee. Ivy Daniels was a good kid. If you had a person who was constantly getting in fights at school, there's escalation proceedings. Your own policies say start with something simple. Start with some remedial action, not jump to expulsion. This was not a random act of violence or anything. This was not a terrorism case where people get expelled. This was such a reasonable response to what this little kid endured. And there were so many options, less than expulsion, that could have been done. But it seems like par for the course for 6th Ward. Because later that month, a boy is beating somebody else, another girl up on the school bus. So maybe that's the problem. But in this case, we have a girl who was victimized, told, we don't believe you, you don't have the pictures. But we got the pictures now. We got the pictures now. But we can't even have a hearing on that because our due process rights were not afforded. And your recitation of the law is correct at the district court. So what happens at the district court is we appeal. They're going to do a review just like this, argument, no new evidence. And if they find that the due process right was not afforded, they're going to kick it back. So now we're back here. And do y'all now kick it back to? So we are going to be months down the road with this little child having no resolution because she was a victim. Had she not been a victim, we're not here and none of this happens. And I'd like to give a few minutes to my co-counsel, Mr. Orr.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on here, I'll be quite frank, is nothing more than disgusting. We spent a lot of time, 10 minutes, talking about due process. You don't even need to talk about that here. Let's talk about the bare bone facts of what happened. You had a child. Ivy, stand up. Where you at? Stand up. That girl, her image was taken by artificial intelligence and manipulated and manufactured to be child pornography. Child pornography, sir. She went to you guys. She went to the school. She asked them for help. She was denied. She then asked to talk to her father, to call her father, because she was being made fun of. She was denied. And then they thought it'd be a good idea to put her on the bus. So here's what we know. We have a kid, undoubtedly, whose images were taken, manipulated, and manufactured of child pornography by a student at that school. The mere allegation alone should be enough to never put them on the same bus that day. This is my business. This is what I do every single day. People are charged with crimes. Many are not guilty and many are guilty. But you know what you don't do the same day? Put them in the same room. Especially after a lack of an investigation. Do you realize what you guys are about to do? Each and every one of you has kids, and your kid comes home crying because a student took her image, manipulated that image, and made it look as if she had now pubic hair in her private area. She's getting made fun of all day. She comes to you crying. And now you got to explain to her, hey, daughter, look, I'm sorry that the school, the people that are supposed to help you did not help you. They didn't do their job. And I got to punish them because they took action after the same videos and images are being shown on the bus again of her? You guys okay with that? What world are we living in now? How are you going to tell that? You're going to do that with your daughter? Your daughter gets that done to her. You guys okay with that? You know what's amazing? The district attorney here, she didn't find that Ivy was a perpetrator. They declined charges. They will not. They have adamantly said they will never charge that little girl with battery. You know why? Because it's justified. She asked for help, not once, not twice. She is the victim. And now you took her out of school and suspended her? Excuse me, expelled her? And now her grades have plummeted. You took that from her. You have a chance right now to make it back. So no, I don't need due process. That alone, you have enough. It is not enough to say, we investigated, but we really didn't. You investigated, what was that? You didn't even talk to him. You didn't find an image. I bet you didn't. It's Snapchat. It disappears. You did that one day. But you guys want that girl to be expelled from this school in her childhood. Potentially robbed. Do you know what it's like every day to be made fun of? Do you know what it's like every day? This is how kids become suicidal. This right here. And you guys are saying it's okay. So here's the message. Guys, guess what? Create all the images you want. Tarnish someone's reputation. Destroy them. And when they retaliate, we're going to do nothing to that person. We're going to expel them. We're going to expel the victim. And you can do it again. Again and again. Do you guys see what's wrong with this? I don't need due process. I need you guys. I don't care what happened with Mr. Amity. No disrespect, Mr. Amity, over the last 25 years. We're now in 2025. Things have changed. This is your chance. I know it's not the norm. I get it, right? Never in a million years are you going to buck the recommendation. I'm asking you to now. She's already been out of school enough. Her grades have plummeted on where she's now placed, and they weren't plummeted before. She is a victim. She is a victim. And ask yourself if that happened to your daughter or your daughter or your daughter, how you feel. And they get expelled because they show up to school, and all of a sudden, someone is disseminating pictures of her naked image. It's not her. And that's okay. Sorry, Ivy. I'm sorry you got expelled for this. So no, I'm not as friendly as Ben. I am disgusted with what happened. There was no investigation. And that is the new message. That's the new message we're sending here. Nothing I said is not factual. Could be a lot more. You don't even need it. Here's that. What you know is what I told you. Someone else created an image. She got made fun of all day. She asked for help not once, but twice. Then they put her on the bus. The guy does it again, which they have seen. We had to give them the pictures of what was being shown, and he wouldn't stop. So what do? That pissant fight that you saw, and she's expelled? That girl did exactly what you're supposed to do, right? Exactly what you're supposed to do. Self-defense has evolved in this world. Now there's a cyber self-defense. So ask yourself, as you do publicly deliberate in your decision, what would you do if that was your kid? What would you do? You're going to say, sorry, babe, I know you worked hard, you love school, but someone else generated a picture of you and you took action because they wouldn't and they expelled you. That's not right. I don't care what happened in the last 25 years. That is not right. That is one of the biggest injustices I have ever seen in my career of what's going on right here. So what I'm asking you guys is to take action. I know it's hard. I know it may not seem like the right thing to do, but you are setting dangerous precedent by doing anything other than putting her back in school. Put her where she belongs. She didn't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong. So I respectfully ask each and every one of you to take this very seriously and remember, put yourself in maybe your child's shoes and ask yourself, is this right? Is it right? Because it's not. Mrs. Martin, I mean no disrespect to you in this whole meeting. Zero. It's not a shot at you. It's not a shot at anyone individually. It's a matter of not knowing before what you know now. That is all. I am asking that you put her back in school and reverse the expulsion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And at this time, I'd like to call Mr. Cook on this side to give a statement for the school board investigation. And Mr. Edmonds, and Mr. Edmonds.
Primarily, the administrative hearing is not the same standard as that of a formal trial. Student suffered no violation of her due process rights. Student had a fair hearing before school officials. School officials met the procedural requirements. All participants in the hearing were advised of their rights, including the Fifth Amendment. The decision to recommend expulsion was supported by the findings, and the findings were supported by the evidence. All relevant material evidence was produced or had an opportunity to be produced. All video evidence was viewed openly in the presence of all parties and counsel. The request for a review of the superintendent's decision because the hearing was conducted in such a manner that all the evidence was not presented at the hearing is entirely false. This opportunity was afforded several times, and the hearing was conducted following the letter of the law as evidenced by the transcripts and recordings. The student was given every opportunity to say what she wanted to say in the hearing. The student's representatives were allowed to submit evidence. The student was charged with assault and battery of a student. The student was asked in the presence of counsel if she had struck and hit a young man, I said young man because I didn't want to say his name, while he was sitting in the seat of the bus. The student replied yes. In the presence of counsel, the student and parent responded affirmatively when asked if they had been treated fairly at the conclusion of the hearing.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we have a discussion of the. Okay.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah.
Mr. Cook, there was allegations that they were asking questions to the principal and they were told to stop. Did that happen?
I did not tell anyone to stop it. We had counsel there for the school board. No.
Did someone tell them to stop asking questions?
I have to look at the transcript. I don't have the transcript. It's all in the transcript, though.
I saw that.
I think from what I don't think I didn't get this told to stop asking questions. I think it was the type of questions. Yes, it was asking, and that's. I just thought they kept saying that it was more of information.
I understand.
I don't think they was able to stop because that's the type of question that was being presented.
These were emailed to us, earlier. We had time to read over them and
Transcripts
talk
and video.
talk about it.
We did receive this early.
Yes.
We've gone through them. I've read it.
Yes,
You know.
we all had that opportunity to read. And I was going to talk to the superintendent if you had any questions.
And the video as well.
Yes, I don't think that the attorneys presented the video that I witnessed and I saw from the transcript seemed to be a bit skewed. Yes, she is a victim, I agree with that. But if she had not hit the young man, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have come to an expulsion hearing.
As well.
I know I ask this every time, but what we're deciding on right now is
Whether we want to overturn the superintendent's decision or hold it, amend it, or dismiss it.
And normally we can't take new evidence into our decision, is that?
This is what we do.
This is what we have to use. So everything that he just told us, we basically can't use to make our decision.
That's inaccurate. There's nothing I told you that's not in that transcript.
In a different wording, yeah.
So in the
But we go by, this is what I'm saying, is we go by the transcript.
Correct.
So was the pictures, let me try to read this correctly. So the pictures, was the pictures presented in the hearing?
No.
So they didn't have.
Yes. I have a copy of the student showing his phone on the bus. I introduced it at the hearing. If that's not in y'all's packet, y'all have been misled. It's got the naked pictures, they're thumbnails. I have the full one if you want to see it. But they're thumbnails of the naked pictures, and he is on the bus showing people. So that was
What he was
introduced.
saying also introduced?
Okay, can you? Those were screenshots of the video that, did you get this opportunity to watch the video?
Yes.
The young man who was walking around on the bus showing the video, pictures to people, that was not the young man that was assaulted or got into an altercation with. That was a young man who struck that child previously and then walked around and went to each section of the bus showing everyone that this and then before everything else happened. So that was admitted, that was in the video. It was just a screenshot of that section blown up and we turned it into the packet. This is just a transcript. He submitted that image.
From the video.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like it's being misunderstood because is the document that I submitted at the hearing in y'all's packet? Because the document that I submitted is not the school bus camera. It is a student taking a picture on the bus, and it is Connor Bourne showing the picture. And I said the name, so it's okay. He is the one showing the naked images on the bus. And I introduced that. If y'all need a copy, because y'all haven't seen that, that is not something they have on a video. I want y'all to know.
There's reference on page 15.
So was the camera not on at that moment that we didn't capture that, or it was on?
What he's describing was also captured by the video we watched.
Okay.
From a different angle from the studio on
Any questions?
I'm always one that that has a problem with this, but and the DA's not gonna charge her. You know? I just have a problem with that. If the DA doesn't think this rise is sufficient enough to have a battery charge, I don't know. I guess it's the lawyer in me.
It's not the old lawyer, Mrs. LaFont, and she's not charging. There's a reason. It's very simple. Her images. She's the victim of a much bigger crime than that, and that nothing happened to that person, and that's okay. We're talking about her. A picture was generated of her. She's made fun of all day. It's a naked picture. After multiple attempts, she defends herself of a picture that he has right there that you can clearly see the kid showing once again of her in a position she was put in for the same administrator that put him on the same bus. It's not the old school lawyer. There's a reason your gut feels like that. This is unbelievable, truly. It's not about what's in there. Everything's in there. It's the same thing. It's very bare bones. It's not about due process. You know what it is.
I'm not introducing new evidence, but I would ask that you each take a look at this, because this is what I put into evidence at the administrative hearing, and I feel like it wasn't sent to y'all. Y'all are saying, oh, it was in the video on the bus. That's something different. I want you to see this.
We have to have a.
It's not the abuse. That is what we presented.
What is your wishes? Do you want to see this? It's introducing new evidence?
The chairman says it's not.
Okay,
It's
we
not
can let
new
it-
evidence.
it's
what
not-
was in the, if it was introduced at the hearing.
Okay, all
Then
right.
you can look.
If it was, okay, can't see this. Is that the right? That's the point.
Thank you for y'all for that opportunity to proffer the picture, to publish it for y'all.
Any other questions, any other comments?
Did she ask to talk to her father and she couldn't make a call?
Is there a transcript?
She asked to
I'm
call,
trying to remember.
from what I've read in the transcript, she asked to call her father and they said, we're not calling parents at this time.
That's what I
Her
read.
phone was never taken. You know, they use their phones all the time. She could have called them later. Yeah, at that time, they said they weren't bringing parents into the investigation.
That's what I read.
So we're listening and everything's valid, but we don't have like an opposing argument to this to be able to base on, right? So we only get like one-sided from them. We don't get, we got the statement from him. No, I'm understanding the statement from him, but like, and as far as the public goes, we're all hearing their attorneys. We're not hearing publicly. Right.
Man, with all due respect, you shouldn't give me any more credence because I'm an attorney or not. That is their representative. You heard from him. That's their statement.
I did.
Right, so I just want to be clear. This is not about one's an attorney and one's not. That's who made the decision. You want to counter that? Let him counter you right now. Fire off questions at him. Ask away. Because that's the way I left the meeting as well. Going, you can't be serious. This is it. That was the response. You're not going to get anything else. But to say they don't have a response, that's disingenuous. That is their response.
This is not the place for that. That's what I'm speaking. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, this is not. We're not allowed to get into that.
You just gave a statement.
I have a question. I kind of feel like We don't hear anything from the SRO, like, like, does did the SRO have a statement as well? Was that introduced? Like, the findings? I mean, I know that when the principal handed it to the SRO, did the SRO come out with any
So
information for
the
us?
principal, Ms. Babbitt, if I may, the principal was in the hearing and she spoke to the fact that the student spoke to the counselor, the student spoke to the SRO, the student spoke to members of her staff. And so there were many members of her staff who were aware of the allegations. Remember, in the transcript that is spoken about, Ms. Coriel speaks to, there were multiple students who were reporting multiple other students having engaged in this behavior. And even on the video that you watched, there were at least, I'm afraid to put a number to it, but well over half a dozen students who were circulating these photos amongst themselves all in the back of that bus. Unfortunately, this despicable behavior had become pervasive that particular day amongst many students. And her staff was trying to arrive at the origin and then how it got to be and where it went from there. And I'm not going to speak to the sheriff's office part of it, only Ms. Coriel and our staff's part of it.
The image was not created at school, correct? It was created, and I understand
I have
there's-
not been given a clear account that anyone has determined where, when, or how the image was created.
Well, it did say there were a couple of people from out of the parish that had done it.
I have not.
I mean, that was in the transcript.
I have
yes.
not been presented with any evidence to determine who, when, or how any of the images were created.
If it happens somewhere else, then it is a law enforcement problem, not problem, but decision. And the thing that we're looking at is that it was being shown around the school by some other people.
And again, when presented to the principal, allegedly, because the student in question in the transcript says, I heard it was happening, but I don't know who has it or where it is right now. And so the limitations of the investigation were such that the lack of specificity and details hampered the investigation. And these are always difficult things to investigate because the right to privacy of students has to be compared with the seriousness of the allegation and what we can do and what we cannot do. That's why we do partner with the sheriff's office to lead us in these investigations, and we're thankful for that. There's a lot to be regretted about the circumstances of this case, to be sure.
And the origin of the manufacturing of the image has absolutely nothing to do with this. If a kid manufactured a bomb in his house and brought it to the school, it's not an off-duty sheriff's office deal, it's a school deal. What we do know is that the image that you saw was on a bus, it's owned by the parish.
Right, I understand that. No, I'm just saying that if it was created somewhere else and not on the school grounds, the thing that we're looking at as a board is what happened at the school, and that is passing the picture around, showing the picture, correct, on the bus.
And
at school.
Look, I will tell you, when this was presented to me, Mr. Cook didn't ultimately make this decision, I did. I'm not going to pretend to this board that Mr. Cook made this decision and let him stand here alone. I concur with this decision, to be clear. Sometimes in life we can be both victims and perpetrators. Sometimes in life horrible things happen to us and we get angry and we do things. The video you all watched, I don't think depicts what was described tonight. The video you all watched depicts something that is very difficult to defend. I'll leave it at that.
I do want to say, and you know, Mr. Martin, I respect you a lot. What keeps playing on my mind a little bit, a lot, is that what she went through all day. And then did it reach a tipping point that afternoon, seeing the kid she thought was responsible, even though he may not have been responsible. And again, two other guys, that bothers me, getting two other guys involved to go beat them up. That bothers me a lot. But I'm also trying to think, and I'm always the one at expulsion hearings that come up with these things, you know. But I do have a problem with her facing everything she did all day, and all of a sudden she snaps. And it wasn't all of a sudden, because you could tell in the video they were planning it. She put her hair back. She was getting ready to think about it. And there's a lot of things in that video that I don't like. But I'm also trying to put into perspective what she went through all day. And as a young girl, and as a father, as a grandfather, I kind of wonder somewhat to what I would do. And of course, this is open. Normally we get into this much more heated when we're in executive session, especially by me, because I seem to ask a lot of the questions and expulsions. But I think if there's ever and what I don't want to condone, and what I don't want to come across, is that I don't want to condone that if you're perceived as a victim, that gives you the right to go beat up somebody. And I have a problem with that. And I do, Matt and Ben, I have a problem with that. But sometimes when I think of what you went through all day, maybe, and I know we have strict rules, and that if you do this, that you're expelled. If you're involved in a fight, you know, you're automatically suspended. You know, is this a situation maybe where we look at a suspension instead of an expulsion, where we can get her back in school? Her grades are suffering and pass. I don't want to see that happen. And I'm just throwing things out, guys. You probably disagree with me, but you know,
I don't have any opinion here. You guys are the decision makers.
But I keep on thinking what she went through from all day that day, and then on the bus. And I do have a problem with what I saw on the bus, because it looked like she was getting some guys to help her out. I have a big problem with that. But I'm also trying to put it in context of what she went through all day.
I will leave you guys with this, or not say a word, put this in perspective. Put in perspective, imagine what she's going through and going to help multiple times, in the words of Mr. Martin, counselors, teachers, trying to call her dad, and nobody will help. Put that in perspective before you make your decision. Let that sink in. That's why we're here. I do have a problem with on the bus, fine. But when nobody else helps you, and you've gone to them for help, that is a different situation. Undisputable. In severity of crimes, like one's a victim, one's not, you know, child pornography, what sentence is for that versus simple battery. But one's still in school. Right? Let that sink in.
I don't know. Question too, they keep saying nobody helped her. What kind of help
What kind of help?
was she?
When you asked to call your father, and as you're now, what I'm understanding is she's supposed to violate school policy and use her own phone. When she goes to a guidance counselor, you can look at me like that. That's exactly what just happened. This is what we're here for.
There is no policy against students using them.
That's right. They have safe places that they can use phones.
Okay, well, wherever the safe place was,
And in the
but she went to the
transcript, her
counselor.
dad does call the school. So evidently, he found out some kind of way. I'm just going by the transcript.
She went to the school, she went to the guidance counselor, she reported to a teacher, sheriff's office.
Right.
Nothing was done. We put her on the same bus. And now we're here expelling her.
That's what I'm saying. What help was she looking for? Just not to be put on the bus?
I don't know, someone to take the situation seriously and separate it. Stop. Just separate it. It's no different to look, and I hate saying adult world, adult crime. Someone's accused of a crime. I might have a client who's accused of assaulting someone. We don't know if he's innocent or not. What we don't do is put him in the same run and say, hell, cage it out. Or better yet, the same person who claims she's assaulted. And then goes to the sheriff's office, they say, no, we don't believe you. All right, let me try this route. No, we don't believe you, but let's go put him in the same room. That's the point. That's what we're saying here. That's my point of going to help. If she doesn't do anything, doesn't say where, it's a different story. She went to every avenue possible from the people that she trusts, guys. A knock on 6-1? Mr. Martin said it correct. These things unfortunately happen. You can't predict them. I totally get that. I can see both sides of that fence, but now here we are. And I just had a 6-month-old daughter. Somebody does that to her? We ain't sitting here right now. We're way past that. It's me you're dealing with. It's not them. And it's in a wholly different manner. So I don't know what else. So she did exhaust every avenue possible. And unfortunately, that's where it landed. And it started again the second she got on the bus. Guys, please, expelling her? What? This is not just one of those things. Like, this is life-changing events, man. You're just like, oh, well, I don't know if we got this one right or wrong. Let's expel her. No, no, no. This is a good student. She's not been a bad student. Just asking. Maybe make it a suspension and let her go back. We get it. I'm not asking for a pass. I'm asking to look at it both ways and to put yourself in her shoes. Unbeknownst to her, walks into a situation blindsided, getting made fun of all day from a negative image that she didn't send anybody. Whether it was made in China or here or there, what we know is it's shown all around the school and on the bus. And it's her. And her emotions, her state of mind. She had to deal with that. She went for help multiple times. She didn't get it. Why? I don't know. I really don't care. It's not relevant. It just is what it is now. How we end up on a bus. So to suggest she got two guys to go and we're offended, maybe. I'm more offended that she went to help multiple times and didn't get it.
In the transcript also, it says that she went to the office that morning and she was kind of joking about it. So, just.
Yes, moral support. She didn't realize there were some pictures of her too.
Right,
You go in the morning and then all of a sudden it just builds all day. More pictures and more students. And it comes and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. You know, I've been doing this for 46 years. And look, I've represented students, I've represented faculty before this board and before the hearing committee, before I was on the school board. And I know what is considered due process, and I think we do due process. But sometimes I think we have to think outside the box. You know, I came in here fully ready to vote to hold all this after what I saw on the bus. But then I listened to what you went through all day. You know, and it bothers me, guys. It does.
And my thing about the whole situation, I don't like that she's the only one that got sick.
We don't know this. We can't know that. We can't know that. No.
This is just on her actions.
We cannot.
We don't know.
We don't know. Neither does it. Okay, what are the, Ms. Tina?
I have to ask a question. I'm sorry, but my thing is that if by chance we would decide to amend the decision, could we say that we amend it with some kind of stipulations, such as maybe we do let her go back. However, we have some kind of a probationary period saying that, hey, if you find yourself in trouble, like, because we know that she has put her hands on someone, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm an educator, I've been in education for many years. That makes me very uncomfortable. You just don't touch other people, period. Would that even be an option? Because it might not be an option. But if I wouldn't ask the question, I would feel very remiss when I walked away from the table.
No, you have the option, Ms. Babin, to do, again, you can overturn it, you can amend it, you can uphold it.
So if we would discuss amending, we have the opportunity to put stipulations on it, is what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for clarifying that for me. As I said, I do not, and I know we've all said this, I found the video of the bus to be sickening. Like, the whole thing, everything about it. But like you said, the fact that this child went through this all day long, it does weigh very heavy on me.
Any other questions? Any other comments?
Do we know at what point she found out it was a picture of her? Because like you said, in the morning she went with the two friends, not even knowing it was her.
No, we don't. There's nowhere in the transcript that I found that.
Yeah.
What point of the day?
Right.
Did she find it?
Can we get the present action as far as schools concerned? What is the protocol for an expulsion for a student that's been placed on online learning? What is the timeline? What is in place present?
I'm not speaking to this particular case, but in general, as a student, if you were expelled from school for some non-drug related offense, the standard procedure is an 89-day expulsion with a return to school after 45 days. And the remaining 44 days, because we have actually 89 day semesters, not 90, would be on a probationary basis. If you were expelled from school for 89 days, you would spend 45 days either at home learning online, or you would be at the alternative site learning there. And at the end of the 45-day period, you would then return to your base school on a probationary basis. That's not necessarily what happened in this case, just speaking in general terms of what would happen for a student expelled for a non-drug related case.
And then what are the other implications for the duration of the expulsion time frame? Because it is a year to the date of.
No, sir. No, sir. Most of our expulsions are actually not year to the date. Most of our expulsions are 89 days. So if the event happens, as an example, on September 1, at the end of 90 days, your expulsion is over, in that you are no longer on probation. At the end of 45 days, you return to your school. In many cases, our students return back to their school in 2 months' time.
So any restrictions on participation in activities?
Great question. For the entirety of the 89 days, as an expelled student, even when you return on probation, you're not allowed to participate in sports, go to dances, extracurricular activities. The only allowed participation would be to go to school and go to class. If you were a member of the football team, as an example, you could not do that until the expulsion term has been completed. And of course, many schools have additional things that take place, such as being expelled, you'd be removed from that program for that year.
So at this time, looking at this particular case, how many days are we involved?
Mr. Hammond, am I allowed to?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Do you all have any objection to having this discussion?
Sure. So we were approaching the 45th day, I believe, in about a week. Is that right, Mr. Cook? The 45th day has already passed. She would have been returned back to her base school, but as said by counsel, she failed to complete the work on her at the alternative school. So the alternative school has notified her and her family that she will remain at the alternative school until the full 90 days is served for failure to complete the work while she is assigned at the alternative school.
You didn't meet the threshold to return in the 45-day with probation to the 89-day.
A lack of completing the work while they yes, sir.
Had she completed the work, she would already be back.
None of that is the point. None of that is the point. That are the facts of this case. She didn't complete the work because she's now in a completely different environment. She wasn't struggling before. She's struggling now because she got expelled. And I knew that's what was going to happen here. We're going to look at timelines and say, oh, look, keep it up. Good. We're all good. Because she can come back anyway, but not so fast. You pulled a child out of the environment that she was in. She's struggling. That's why we want to come back. But I knew that would be the outcome.
And it was because of severe depression that she had.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry. The severe depression that she had, she missed when she went straight into PATS. She is doing much better now in PATS. But unfortunately, the coursework that she missed in the initial PATS environment, that she was depressed because the picture's still eating at her, that's why she was delayed. She is doing much better, grades picked up, so I hate for you to say, oh, well, she didn't do what she was supposed to do, so she just got spit out. That was still an acute time period when she was initially into PATS.
I have one question for Mr. Martin. And as with all of our students' records, each year they're expunged, right? This will not go on her record for next year or
Yes,
any other year.
discipline records don't carry 1 year.
Correct. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that this, once this school year is over, that record is expunged, and, so that will not follow her. So, what is the pleasure of the board? Do I have a motion?
I move that the superintendent's decision be amended, that she be suspended for an amount of 60 days, and that she be on probation for an additional 90 days.
Suspended.
So it would actually add to the amount of time that she would be on probation. She could go back to school at this point, but she would be
At this
out.
point, she could go back to school, but I think because she's behind in her work somewhat, I think instead of 45 days, it should be 60. The suspension, credit for time served, as we say in law, and then that should be placed on probation till the end of the school year.
So I have to ask while we throw in the word probation around. I want to make sure that everybody's aware of what probation means. That means that she is one strike and she goes back,
Yes.
correct?
And during that time of probation, she's going to be home in school, or
She goes back.
or do that include
You mean
extra
extracurriculars?
activities?
Mr. Henry, forgive me, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
That's fine.
Again, apologies.
No.
What I'm hearing and what I think practically happens are two different things.
Okay.
If it is your intent for her to return to school immediately as your motion, is that what you like to motion?
No, I don't know how many days she served.
Can we get an idea of what days, where are we at in this?
I guess what I'm trying to say
Timeline,
is,
I'm
rather
asking
than do that, because that would take some logistical gymnastics on their part to count days, if you would set a date for her return, and then probation, or a date thereafter, like a date on the wall, a calendar, that might be an easier endeavor.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
Mr. Henry.
go
So
ahead.
what number of days are we on right now?
And I just want to make sure we also understand, the probationary period can't extend beyond the consequence. So if the consequence is X, the probationary period cannot be greater than X.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand what you're saying. So it can't go beyond 90 days.
That is correct.
All
So
right.
the probationary period would be some early return, because then the whole point of the probation is to finish out the original sentence. Again, education, not criminal.
Well,
What does a
That's-
suspension look like? Is it in-school suspension?
Totally
or-
different, and that's why I'm cautioning against using those terms. A suspension is at home, not getting your work. In-school suspension will be on campus doing your work at school and not at the alternative school. So I think if you just articulate a placement option, then I can help you with the language.
well, I would suggest maybe November 15th, if you're looking for a day certain.
17th is a Monday.
I'd still like to know if we can get an answer to how many days has she served to this point.
Matt, do you know?
Past 45.
Yeah, but how much? That.
We know we passed 45.
It happened in August 26th.
I have a suggestion. Could we kind of keep her where she is until she catches up the work that she hasn't completed from the beginning? And then once that's over, return to school. So she's doing really well now, but she has not completed all of her work.
She already caught up.
Oh, she's caught up.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. Okay.
She already caught up. She just was, when she was behind, they told her, oh, well, you fell behind, so you gotta start the whole time.
Oh, okay. So she's caught up. Good. Okay. So
Can I ask a question about grades? So you're saying that she's caught up and like, just hear me out. So like, you can be caught up and it's not done right or well, but you could be caught up and you could be doing okay. So can you give me an idea if we are we're not doing well, are we a CD, are we a DF, are we like a C, are we like A, B? Like, can you just give me an idea of where we are in that?
I'm a
You're the
different
parent, if you don't mind me asking.
Yes, no, of course. And I spoke with the principal. When this incident occurred, she was doing great in the beginning. She fell behind for 3 to 4 days. That curriculum is accumulative. You got to do 20-something assignments daily. 4 days, she went through depression and just quit doing everything. She gave up. I had to hire a counselor. The principal did not let me know that till the term was almost over because she was so far ahead. They only make phone calls at the end of the month or something like that. So she was ahead. They didn't need to see no need to make a phone call. So she kind of got to look behind. By the time they realized she was behind, the term was almost already done. So she fell behind on that term. She is automatically already caught back up on everything, and her grades were B's, A's. And that came from the principal because I just had a 2-hour conversation with her in her office 3 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Still asking my question. Yes, sir, please, if you know that.
Her last day was August 26th. That was the last day she was at 6th Ward. That's when the incident occurred on the bus.
Okay, who's the math person?
So let me have to run her on my phone.
We're around 65 days right now.
Right, now, I guess the point was, Mr. Henry was gonna stipulate to a 60-day time, and we're past that point, is really what I was getting at.
Yes.
And that's where my timeline questions were, Mr. Horry. I didn't mean to be, or make you think presumptuously that we were trying to nitpick some things.
Why don't we uphold the superintendent's recommendation, but allow her to go back to school and not do the whole 90 days because she fell back a few.
Still be in the probation though.
Yeah.
I think the probation is important because when it comes down to it, I still feel uncomfortable that there was a physical altercation. So I'm sorry, I can't let go of that. So I stand firm on a probationary period.
I agree, that video.
The video, I can't, I'm sorry.
Tina, I agree with you. I think because of the video, I think there needs to be a probation, but I'd like to get her back to school. I guess I just don't like the word expulsion. I'd rather the word suspension, time served, let her go back to school and put her on probation for the rest of the year. No, it can't go beyond that. It can only go 90, till the 90 days are hit.
That would be beyond even what she was originally.
And then she'll remain on probation for the remainder of the 90
The
days.
90 days, correct.
So let's get some detail with what you need and what we're talking about.
I think that what she just said and what Mr. Henry just said, again, this isn't my motion. I think I understand what Mr. Henry is motioning now, which is to uphold the expulsion, and allow the student to return to school immediately.
And then she has to remain on probation for the remainder.
As she would, because that's upholding the expulsion.
But are you saying expulsion or suspension?
I would like to say suspension instead of expulsion.
You can't back.
So can I make a statement here?
Go ahead.
I think at this point, one thing that we do agree is that child needs to go back to school.
Yes.
Okay, I do think that she needs to go back to school.
Yes.
I would like to see her back at school as early as Monday if possible. So that's what I would like to happen if possible. It does, at this point, I feel like the verbiage of expulsion or suspended, it doesn't matter. What the child needs is to go back to school. Would you, I mean,
Should still be on probation.
right,
Yeah.
I do feel that the probation is necessary.
Only
30 more days.
25 more
Yes.
days.
Okay, I can live with that.
All right, so it sounds like the motion, so I will second the motion and restate it. We will uphold the expulsion, allow the student to return back to school immediately or upon the next immediate number of days that she feels comfortable to do that. Again, on her judgment, but she could return as early as tomorrow. And upholding the expulsion would also include the remainder of the probationary period. So moved and.
You want to repeat that this way without that?
Can I just make a comment? So what you're gonna do is you're still gonna keep her out of extracurriculars because it's an expulsion. So that's unfortunate. I know that wasn't the intent by some. So I would like to see her, if she's going back to school, fully back at school, so that's what the expulsion language
I
is.
still wanted a probation.
If I may, in just because of what I saw, the severity of the video, I think there needs to be a probationary period.
I'll give a probation.
And I think, unfortunately, that means she can't participate for another month or so in the extracurricular, but after that, she can. I think, but we're getting her back into school, and that's the most important thing.
Make a brief point, please.
You have a motion?
May I say something?
Yes, sir. She's about to go to public comment.
Talking up, just as a father, I have never been okay with what she did. She has been knowing that from me as well. So I agree with all of you. What she did was wrong. No doubt in my mind. But expulsion was way extreme for a little girl that's never been in trouble in her life. Suspension would have been perfectly fine with me, and I would have never said anything because I always believe in accountability, which is why I'm still pushing this issue. Accountability. She was wrong, but the school was also wrong by putting her in that place with that little boy at the time. In my mind, it goes both ways. Share the accountability. Thank you.
You have a motion? Can you read it for us? Say a little bit louder, please. Everybody can hear.
The expulsion allowed the student to return back to school immediately. Probation, probation for 25 days.
Until the end of
To the end of her.
The 89 days.
We have a motion by Dr. Giat, a second by Mr. Henry Lafont. Any board, any public comment? Any board questions or comment, Mr. Duplantis?
Okay, it was stated that she could return as early as tomorrow. Who's gonna notify the school if she decides to show up tomorrow
Ms. Coriel is.
and not cause a conflict?
The principal is.
Just wanna make sure of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Just wanna make sure that, she shows up at school and it disrupts the whole, her
She's
day
ready
again.
to start
When-
tomorrow.
Is she gonna be ready tomorrow?
I mean, we can have it ready. There was in that verbiage on the paperwork I received that we were supposed to have a meeting with Ms. Coriel to
Okay.
discuss plans on getting her back and getting her in place. So, I mean, honestly, it would be
Definitely.
a
We can
decision
allow
up
the
to her.
school and the parent to make a decision.
We'll let y'all two.
Y'all decide when you,
Y'all two
that's time for her to come back.
Okay. All right, any other board discussion, questions? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to you, tentative date, number 8. Tentative dates for future meetings. A, committee meetings, policy and academics committee, business committee, and land and facility management committee, Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, and a regular school board meeting on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Number 9, executive session. To consider entering into executive session to receive an update from Board Attorney Mr. Patrick Amedy regarding potential pending litigation, LB versus LBSB.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, second by Ms. Babin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will go into executive session. Please note the time as 7:47.
Good people, thank you all for your.
Thank you very do we have a motion to,
So I move that we, allow Mr. Amity to enter into discussions with opposing counsel, to create some type of, settlement. Okay.
I second it. Ms. Valerie seconded. Any other questions, any comments? If not, hearing none, please vote, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, I didn't say ma'am. Yay. Okay. Now, do we have that ready? Before we have a motion to adjourn, I'd like to, take a minute to give the birthday girl a gift from us. Okay, everybody, all ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wynn. Happy birthday to you.
Is that live by any chance?
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Before you adjourn,
Oh, yes.
Madam President, I just would like to say in November is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans, including our superintendent. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Could I ask,
Okay.
you all record, since this was an open meeting for the hearing on the expulsion, can we keep that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
In fact, it'll be on our website in perpetuity.
very good. Okay, because I think that is gonna, if they do choose to appeal to the district court, that will be something that will have, it'll become relevant.
I really don't think they will. I would probably push to do it just for the heck of it. But I think
The meeting
since
has not been
going back
adjourned.
to school, I think the parents
Still live.
There being no further business, both, meeting is adjourned.